this is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Hi, Marge. By the way, anybody who's a guest on a news show, for the record, if I know where you live in general, in just the broad strokes, and you show me too much of your house and where your windows are, and I know what time of the day the interview happened on, after 4 interviews, I can find your fucking house. Don't be stupid, people. Get a green screen or back up against a fucking wall. To give you, say what you will about Sidney Powell, but she had the decency to hide in a corner in the basement where nobody can find me. I don't know what the hell. Yes. So this will be our last piece for the evening, I think. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying Joe Biden is making deals with the enemy against America. Now, this could be anything. I haven't pre-watched this. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. This could be a whole Fauci rant. It could be the Taliban. It could be that somehow leaving some of Trump's tariffs in place with the Chinese, or they believe it's subterfuge. Yeah, she'll call Mike Pillow. We'll see. I'm fascinated. But apparently she's in on it. Yeah.
Number 2, here's what...
Wait a minute. What do you mean number 2?
Number 2.
How do you start a clip on number 2? What the fuck was number 1? Oh, it's all number 2. Thanks. I didn't realize. I did not plan that. I swear to God. This is the beginning of the video. Look. See where it starts? Look right there. Here, this guy is, and I'll push it back all the way to the front.
Number 2.
Right. See what I mean?
Here's what you need to understand.
Okay. Thank you, God. Somebody is here to tell me what I need to understand.
The Green New Deal is...
The Green New Deal. Holy shit. I don't know why I was expecting some sort of military or geopolitical problem. But okay.
Dangerous for America because...
The Green New Deal is dangerous for America. I mean, it's not an actionable bill, and it's really a statement of purpose on, trying to do stuff, and it isn't codified as law and hasn't actually passed, and it's not actually part of the president's agenda except for, like, normal anti-climate change stuff that most Democrats have been pushing forever.
Because it completely destroys our American energy independence.
Oh, okay. So it completely destroys... The Green New Deal completely destroys our energy independence. Very scary.
It puts us into reliance on electric vehicles.
Electric vehicles. That newfangled thing that actually are electric. Let's see. Obviously, I don't know if you know this, but the first person ever hit by a car and killed in the United States of America was killed by an electric car. Henry Bliss was his name, an ironically named fellow. This is from Smithsonian Magazine. America's first pedestrian fatality was hit by an electric taxi. The driver was arrested but released after hitting Bliss. That's the vehicle. That's what they used to drive right there. That is an electric taxi. Let me run that by you again. That is an electric taxi. The first taxis in the country that didn't have a horse pulling them were fucking electric. Why was this never in Who Killed the Electric Car? Because there's not enough black and white footage. On this day in 1899, September 13th, the death of Henry Bliss is coming up on us, September 13th, 1899. Henry Hale Bliss was hit by a car while getting off a New York streetcar, the first pedestrian in the United States to be killed by then newfangled horseless carriages. Fatality, hurt by automobile. Fatality, hurt by... Fatally, beg your pardon. Fatally hurt by automobile. Well, that's a hurt. That's the big hurt. Fatally hurt. Read the next day's headline in the New York Times as the article detailed Bliss, a real estate dealer, was struck by a car driver, I think they meant cab driver, while helping a female companion to get out of the streetcar. Although he was the first fatality in the United States, Bliss was followed by many more, as the CDC reports. An average of one pedestrian was killed in a vehicle crash every 1.6 hours in 2015. Well, that's not... He was hit by an electric taxi. That's right. Seriously, think about this for a second. How many of you knew that? I mean, some folks who've seen my live stand-up, I have talked about Henry Bliss in my show before. But yes, and for those of you who don't know, the taxi was delivering
5 eggs.
That's right. It had a trunk load of
5 eggs.
Just so you know. That's right.
5 eggs in a month.
Yeah, that's how many it could drive. It was a very slow taxi. Arthur Smith was the guy's name. Yeah, I believe that. Driver Arthur Smith's car, like many other early automobiles, was powered by electricity. In the late 1800s, electric-powered cars were among the highest performing and most popular vehicles on the road. In 1900, there were more electric cars in New York City than gasoline-powered ones, and for good reason. They were less smelly and quieter than their fuel-burning counterparts, didn't require a hand crank to start, and they eliminated the hardest part of early driving, shifting gears. The Electric Vehicle Company, aptly named, by the way, they struck the vehicle from the name and ended up making children's programming, which operated the taxi that struck and killed Bliss, operated from 1897 to 1907, according to Wikipedia. Demonstrated that early automobile-type contraptions weren't all the gasoline-powered car people are now familiar with. In fact, the first ever recorded fatality at the hands of a motor vehicle took place by a steam-powered car in 1869 in Ireland. That was before that. The steam car killed another dude. Irish scientist Mary Ward was riding in a steam-powered automobile built by her cousins. As they rounded a bend in the road, Ward was thrown from her seat and fell in the vehicle's path. One of the wheels rolled over her, broke her neck, killing her instantly. What happened to him was described as an accident. The Times used a variety of language in its piece to describe what happened to Bliss. He was fatally hurt, run over, struck, the victim of an accident. And Matt Richtel, reports for the Modern Times, many road safety advocates are now steering away from the word accident to refer to car crashes. Cities like New York and San Francisco are avoiding the language. Historically, Richtel writes, the word was used by automakers in the 1920s who wanted to shift focus away from the car and onto the drivers when it came to accidents, but in the term car accident gave the driver leeway as well. However, as Bliss's accident shows, the precedent was already set for 1920s car manufacturers. Smith was arrested and charged with manslaughter, but the charges were dropped after it was determined that Bliss's death was unintentional. Can we just revel in how fucking cool it was that steam and electric cars were the first and most popular because they didn't stink, and they were, and they were quiet. Yeah. And I would like to say that all the viewers, including the trolls today, might walk away. Like I said, if you haven't seen my stand-up where I've talked about this, with a piece of information that, I mean, this is your conversation starter, your next party. Yeah, follow your bliss used to be a curse. Yeah. Yes, it was run by 5 hard-boiled electric eggs.
5 eggs!
But you literally have the ability to kind of, like, pop a bit. This is a bar bet you could win. You could say the first person ever killed in America when they were hit by a car was killed by an electric car. I hope Bliss wasn't deaf. Wouldn't have mattered. They were quieter. He would have heard the gas cars coming. Seriously. So, anyways, congratulations on having a little piece of history that you can whip out at a party and win a bar bet and seem really, really smart. And that, when I found that out, that was one of the most beautiful, mind-boggling facts I had heard in forever. And it is why I'm getting the Tesla truck when it comes out. I hope if there's enough of them. I put my $100 down last year to hold my place in line. I did history, you. Isn't that amazing? I mean, honestly. But the liberals and progressives are trying to turn the clock back. That's what they're trying. They're regressives. They're trying to push us all back to when driving cars with chandeliers on the top. Look at this. It looks like the street lamp is on the vehicle. The way they parked it. Like this poor horse. He's got to carry his lamps on their back. By the way, lighting assistants in movies are called gaffers because street lamp guys used to turn the gas lamps on and off using a gaff hook. So, there you go.
Forced by law. By 2030, every single car and truck in the United States will be an electric vehicle.
Okay. By 2030, every single car or truck in America will be an electric vehicle. 2030 electric vehicle rules. I don't know. Biden announced new standards. Well, all right. You're halfway there. It's not quite. It's not quite all of them. Biden announces new emission standards. Target. It's not necessarily a law. It's a little. I mean, I wish it was. Target's a big word. I mean, it sounds scary. That 50% of vehicles sold in the U.S. by 2030 are electric. 50. So not every. What was that again? Dum. Sorry, run that by me again.
Truck in the United States.
Sorry, whoops.
Reliance on electric vehicles forced by law. By 2030, every single car and truck in the United States will be an electric vehicle. That means
you can't read, actually. I mean, it's not even that 50% will be electric. That vehicles sold, newest cars, the old cars will still be here. By the way, I made this point the other day, and I don't know why anybody didn't kind of catch on, and I think it should, is that if electric cars were around before Mad Max, Bartertown would have been a solar plant factory. Because, I mean, if you can, in the end times, scrounge up a couple of solar panels off of a house someplace and get a converter, build one, and hook it up to your vehicle through some, I guess, frontier electronics, or there's a dude who makes those, you don't need gas. You just have to go if you're sunny, just put them on the roof during the day. I mean, just watch The Martian. But Biden announces new emission standards, targets that 50% of vehicles sold in the U.S. are electric. Target. It's the target. It's the target. But, I'm sorry, what did you say?
puts us into reliance on electric vehicles forced by law.
Forced by law to have a target of new vehicles sold in the United States by 2030.
By
9 fucking years from now.
2030, every single car and truck in the United States will be an electric vehicle.
Vehicle. Ma'am, the term is horseless carriage. I'm just saying.
That means all your cars and trucks and everything you drive will require an electric battery to run. Now, here's the problem.
Okay, it will require an electric battery. It's adorable. Why don't you just say battery? Are there steam batteries? Is there a coal-firing battery?
America is nowhere in competition in this market. As a matter of fact,
America is nowhere in competition in this market.
from the beginning point to mining the minerals all the way to producing the lithium batteries,
Yeah, those are the ones we use now.
we range from 0 to 10% market share. That means America.
She means the lithium and stuff like that. If I may, Dum-Dum, can I... This will be the difference, if I may. Let's see. this is from a long time ago. It's from August 2021. But this is why they're targeting it for 2030 and not 2025. If it was 2025, it'd be rushed and you'd have to use lithium ion and it would jump ahead. But by giving it the extra 9 years for them to start testing that stuff, you start falling into this area, which is solid state batteries. Lithium-ion batteries are everywhere in smartphones, blah, blah, blah. Recently, a 3D printing startup, Saku, formerly Carousel, developed a solid-state battery that claims equals or betters the performance of current lithium-ion batteries. The small 3-amp cell, about capacity of 3 AAA alkaline battery, was produced alongside Saku's additive manufacturing plant. The technology allows the company to deposit multiple materials into a thin single layer. So 3D printing to create those kind of things. Now, there's a bunch of these. So these are all solid-state batteries they're talking about at MIT. MIT has got a project where they're working on solid-state batteries so that you're not using lithium. So you don't need, you can use recycled metals to create them. By 2030, we're not going to be using lithium-ion batteries and shit. QuantumScape says it's testing a 10-layer solid-state battery. There you go. Get it out of here. No thanks. Later. There you go. 10-layer solid-state battery. This is July 27, 2021. There's a couple of these on there. Car rating. What is a solid-state battery? It's rechargeable. Here you go. What is a solid-state battery for an electric car? This is August 2nd. This has been happening for the last 3 years. Now they're finally figuring out how to produce them. Chinese university develops new material to accelerate solid-state battery production. The problem is you don't need them to do it. And they probably borrowed the technology. Honestly. Capacity retention milestone achieved for a 40 amp. There you go. Solid-state EV battery and a major breakthrough. Factorial Energy reached a capacity retention of 97.3% after 675 cycles for a 40Ah cell at 25 degrees Celsius. The problem they have with solid-state batteries is cold weather. So you have to keep them warm and that kind of thing. And so you spend some of the energy to keep them warm, and that burns the battery a little bit. For EV vehicles to capture more than 4% of global sales, they need to see dramatic price and performance improvements in the underlying battery system. Liquid electrolytes perform effectively over a wide temperature range below 0 Celsius, above 100, but they pose disadvantages: high flammability, capacity loss, electrolytic decomposition at high voltages, limiting the use of high voltage cathode materials, thermal runaway, and risk of leakage. Solid-state batteries don't exhibit these drawbacks, allowing for higher operation temperatures due to better thermal stability, so they work better when it's hot. Thus, they become an emerging option for next-generation EV traction batteries compared to EVs using conventional lithium-ion batteries. Those installed with solid-state batteries are expected to have a significantly higher rate due to a higher battery density. You're going to end up, you might have a small, rechargeable battery of other sorts that can work at a different temperature, a small lithium-ion battery, for example, that will run a heater if your car gets too cold to keep the batteries running. There you go. Gee, why did QuantumScape stock jump 9% on Monday? This is August 11th. Startup is working on a solid-state lithium metal batteries for electric vehicles. Saw its stock rally about 9%. They're putting lithium in it to deal with the heat issue. They're going to end up replacing it. I'm just telling you. This is what happens when... continue, idiot.
America can barely compete, but China dominates the entire world in the battery market.
Yeah, but they don't have to.
They dominate.
One of the reasons they dominate is because they don't give a shit if they pollute their areas. And they dominate because we buy batteries from there because we don't want to pollute our aquifers, our lakes, our ground.
Over 80% of the rare earth mineral mines all over the world.
Right, so the goal would be to move away from rare earth minerals for all of this shit through ingenuity.
They also dominate the battery market by over 75%.
Right. Again, that doesn't have to stay that way. They do it because they're toxic and we don't want to build them here, and a lot of other countries don't want to build their batteries at home because it's fucking awful.
Now, here's what's critical about Afghanistan, which you just saw Joe Biden, who
Because Afghanistan has rare earth minerals.
knows all about the Green New Deal, who fully understands and wants to pass it so that all of America
No, actually.
and all Americans have to rely on communist Chinese batteries.
Commie batteries. That's what it is. Yeah. You think underneath that copper top. Copper is another way of saying red.
Drive your cars. He knows that there's over $1 trillion of rare earth mineral mines in Afghanistan.
Right. But we don't want to use them because they're toxic and flammable. And we are looking at technologies that won't need that anymore. So let other countries do the shit from yesterday while we work on the stuff in the future, and no one will need rare earth minerals. So we won't have to dig shit up for oil or natural gas or battery materials.
And I want you to know that he
No, the Chinese do not make uncommie batteries, by the way.
completely walked away from all of those rare earth mineral mines and have
Yeah, this is the Trump. We should have kept the minerals.
left them sitting there where China has been negotiating and working very hard for a long time to get in to own those rare earth mineral
Yeah, good luck with that.
rights. So you need to understand exactly who Joe Biden is.
He's someone who doesn't want to use lithium ion forever because we don't have enough of it in our own country, and we'd rather move to solid state batteries because we can make those no matter what and always make them better, but we don't require minerals that need to be dug up. And we've got a lot of recycled metal, and of course I'm sure the steel industry and steel workers would be very interested.
Exactly.
Yeah, we call them freedom batteries, John.
Who we've
right.
always known him to be. Hunter Biden made all those deals in Ukraine. Joe Biden was in on it.
What the fuck does that have to do with lithium ion in Afghanistan?
Hunter Biden's laptop showed that Joe Biden and his brother James Biden were doing deals with China, doing deals with businesses over there.
No, they don't. We've all looked at what is allegedly on the laptop, which I still insist does not exist. Prove me wrong. Find a picture of it. Fuck off.
Joe Biden is exactly the same man then as he is now.
Well, yeah, except he's sharper now.
Joe Biden handed over Afghanistan back to the terrorists to run that country so that those rare earth mineral mines are sitting there waiting for China to be able to negotiate and own control of. Now here.
Well, tell them they're going to have a bit of a problem once the Uyghurs in China start communicating with the Taliban. Again, anybody who thinks China is going to have a better time in Afghanistan than we did is full of shit.
Here's the issue. Turkey is also trying to get control of Afghanistan because Turkey wants the caliphate. They want the rise of ISIS to come back.
Do they?
And they have their long-term religious goals of Islam, which is very dangerous for every single one of us.
Right, and now we're gonna have to go to the store and we're gonna have to make a choice. Do we want commie batteries or Sharia batteries? I don't know what to use. I mean, I just want to go to the store.
They also, many strong Islamists see China as an enemy because the way China treats people of
the Uyghurs,
Islam in their country.
People of Islam, sure.
The Uyghurs, they have them locked up.
The Uyghurs, all right.
In prison, never to be
Cenk Uyghur, they hate the way they treat Cenk Uyghur.
Seen or heard from again. So there is some fighting there over who will control these rare earth mineral mines.
Yeah, and I think it would be much better if our soldiers were in the middle of that. I think is the point you're getting to that our soldiers, that Biden is somehow helping China by not leaving our soldiers in the middle of a Taliban proxy war between Turkey and China. Huh? Oh, nice. Thanks for becoming a new patron. Yay! Appreciate that.
But the key thing that you need to understand is America should never have to rely on China or any other country for our energy needs. Americans should never be forced by law from Congress and the president forcing us to have to drive certain types of vehicles using only one type of energy source, which is an energy source that we can barely compete in. Just last year, America was energy independent with oil and gas, thankfully, because of President Trump.
Yeah, it's Bob Euchre, right.
We have to fight these two bills, and here's why I'm pushing so hard we have a chance. You
What two bills would those be?
see, Nancy Pelosi has a little problem right now. The squad is pushing her on the infrastructure bill. It doesn't go far enough. They want more communist agenda items in there.
Oh my God.
So they're saying
Oh, the two bills she's talking about are the infrastructure bills. I don't know why I thought for a second that there would be some sort of like Green New Deal bill that she was somehow privy to that was working its way through.
they're not going to vote for the infrastructure bill. Then we have 9 very moderate Democrats that are saying they have a problem with the $3.5 trillion budget. Now,
No, they don't. They want the 1.1 to pass. They don't want to hold it hostage. That's their problem. That's all there is. I mean, it's normal sausage making. Like, I know everybody's clutching their fucking pearls about this, but it's so dumb.
the reason why they have a problem is the budget goes too far and it spends too much money.
No, that's not their problem.
So
That's
they're
not that's your belief. That's not their belief.
saying they're not going to vote for it. Here's what Republicans can do in the House. Our
Okay, cool.
entire GOP conference, we are only down by 3 votes. If our entire Republican conference can hold together and vote as one block, vote no for both bills.
Oh, she's counting the other 9 as not voting for the 1.1 bill that's going through. Not going to happen.
Not give in by a single vote and make sure every single Republican is present and voting no on both of those bills, we have a chance to stop it. This is a one-time
No, they really don't.
chance to stop the Green New Deal, and it
This isn't the Green New Deal. It's not even close.
has to be done right now. Here's why I'm telling you. Nancy Pelosi has called us back to Washington next Monday on August 23rd. We have to report there because it's next week. She wants to pass the 1.2 trillion infrastructure and the $3.5 trillion budget.
Yes, we know Nancy Pelosi is the Speaker of the House and she schedules things. And
I am begging you, every single person that listens to this show,
the shoe show, I didn't realize she was on QVC.
I am begging you, take down
I don't never beg.
this phone number. It's extremely important.
Okay, take down this this number.
202-224-3121. This is a congressional switchboard. I need you to call every single Republican member in the House.
You can look the number up if you want. I'm just dicking around.
And I need you to tell them they better vote no.
You better vote no. Well, call your own. But who gives a shit if you call? Are you one of the congressperson's constituents? No, I am not. Okay. Well, why are you calling us?
The infrastructure bill and the budget bill. They better be there. Do not vote present. They have to vote no.
There's going to be a bunch of presents, by the way, because they know they're going to go home, even though they didn't want to vote for these things, and present all the things they're going to get in their district because of these infrastructures, the infrastructure bills. They're gonna present them as presents. That's why I voted present, because it's a present for my constituents.
No, because we have to stop the Green New Deal. We have to stop this lie. It's not infrastructure. We have to stop this $3.5 trillion budget. And the only way we can do it is if every single Republican shows up, fights for once in their life. And
yeah, these losers. Do you tell them? I mean, it really helps that you call them rhinos and traitors the rest of the time. I'm sure they're on board.
Votes no for
what was that number? It was 976 Foxy.
Of these bills. And
1X, unfortunately.
You tell them that if they do not do it, we are going to show up in their district. We are going to
We're going to show up in their district with soap.
primary them and remove them from Congress because we've had enough.
If I could interrupt, are you?
Congressman.
Number 2.
Wait, that's it? What was the number 1? That's the whole fucking thing? They just cut her off at the end? Good Lord.